I'm going to start out with a quick video. This morning is June 2nd, Monday morning. Little market run up. First, I didn't actually get into any trades there, and I'll explain why. And then we took one on the chance of it going down, and we made some money there. So let's just walk through this really quick. So on the 2-minute chart, we can see right here was our first signal at 726, which was prior to the market. And the problem is we had a few of these lines running up here for our resistance. So we weren't able to really find a good area to take it. Now, there was a little move there, but again, that was right before market. And I do take some pre-market trades that can go up, but with all this being kind of flat right back here, there wasn't a lot of movement. So I wasn't like, these are kind of false signals that show up and it's like, oh, well, is it really going to sell? Well, you can see that the market was struggling to even move at all there. So I wasn't comfortable taking it, even though it did obviously go up. It didn't go up from these ones here, kind of stalled out there. That one never really broke it. So, and even on that one there, still didn't break. So we finally had our opening candle here. This again is a 2-minute, and you can see it pushed up right in the middle of our resistance there. So if you're an aggressive trader, once that candle closes, and you can see it over here on this chart, it's right in this area here. There was plenty of room to move up. This green line sitting right there, that's current price, but there is a resistance line there. So, if you were more aggressive, you definitely could have said, hey, it's a good push up. There's a good chance it's going to move up. And if you're stop loss, you probably would have just put it down at the bottom of these candles here, either one of these. So would have been a little tighter stop, but again, you could have been clear up in this area here. So that could have been a good size stop loss if it would have done a quick reverse, which is why I kind of avoid the open. There's just too many big swings there to worry about. So anyway, first candle did close here. If you were aggressive, you could have said, hey, trending up, we're looking like it could push there, take it there for you, or it's put a stop loss at the bottom of the resistance line saying, hey, if it comes back and busts through the bottom of these, it's time to get out. Okay. So we didn't want to worry about that. So we just kind of watched the market, which kind of sucks that you're just watching it. Now, again, there was some lines up here that you could have had some profits taken here. And once it got there, it just kind of stalled. Now, we did have a re-entry signal that could have occurred here if you'd have taken that. Or if you were a little more aggressive, you could say, hey, it did have a retrace, gave us a red candle, broke above all these lines. As you can see there, it did break there and then push up. The problem was there really wasn't any support lines and resistance lines up here for you to go with. I'd have to go way back in time to find why it stopped there. And it did. I looked at it and it was like back on the 25th, I think it was, that it just stopped at that number there. So kind of a crazy place to go that far back. So again, just kind of a missed opportunity. If you did take that, there was about 30 points on the NASDAQ, about 12, 8 or 10, I think it was on the ES. So not a lot though. So definitely one to watch out for when you've seen all these lines that have got, hit and broke, and then you have nothing up here to go for. You may want to wait and look for a retrace. So if this would have come down, come back up, and give us a chance to make money off there, we probably would have been okay. Anyway, point is, if you're aggressive, you can definitely get in and play these lines. If not, you have to wait. And then again, when the signal comes, it just was at the point where it's like, hey, it's already past these lines. There's nothing up here that I can, see that it's going to give me profit. So we waited. All right. So then we have a move down. Let me just scroll over here on the 30-second chart more. We had a couple of these, signals. These aren't time to buy or sell. We had to make sure these are all in agreement. So they finally occurred here at the 9:52 Eastern at 7:52 my time. You can see we get the candle. Now, usually on these big candles, you don't want to jump in quickly to a trade. You want to wait for that retrace to happen, unless there's a line that it's kind of pushing to, which right here you can see there's some further down it didn't get to. And again, it probably was going up where it stopped at right here. If you can look back here, there's a bunch of these support lines right here. Okay, so that's why it stopped there. We did have that retrace, and then we got another signal right here. Okay, so this tells us, okay, now's a good time to probably look at getting it back in. Could have pushed down here. It was a nice strong candle, good volume on that, pushing down. Okay, and then where would our target be? Right down to this line here where it's drawn for us. Okay, so let's just pull up our measurement there, somewhere in this area. Again, I'm not going to go perfect here for you, but you can see that gives you about 168 points. Now we're only looking for 40 to 50, which is I put in, I think mine was 50 on mine. I did try to pull it down to this area, but I was able to, once I was in this area, I did get stopped out as it came back up in profits. I only made 150 bucks, so not a lot on this trade, but I did copy trade that onto my other account. So it was a good day so far on that. So, but anyway, that was your signal. It did kind of sit there for a minute. No risk really of loss because your stop loss was up in this area. And the market came down and obviously hit that number, came down a little bit further. We had another retrace. I wouldn't really call this a re-entry signal just because of the wicks on the candle. It's something you got to look at and say, hey, the market's kind of flattened. It's tried to come down, went back up. And I remember watching this one. It actually was green and red and green and red. So it really was indecisive on where it was going here. And then as that candle closed, you can see over here on the 2-minute, we had just turned green. So it really wasn't a time for you to take in a sell signal because nothing lined up. It looks good. Oh, wait, it turned red. It's still red. Well, no, you've got to come back here and look at this. Okay. All right, so then we just kind of have done nothing since then for it. We did have this little move up that just happened here, giving us a green signal at 1024. So let's just come over here to the end of the market. Now, it doesn't look like much of a move here. And again, this is where you can place some of these support and resistance lines. And I'm going to show you that in a second. But let's see, this was right up in this area here. So the market just kind of grinded up at this point. Now you can draw some trend lines here to keep you here. Trend line coming down this way. So there's a bunch of different ways to play these, but for me, it's always about finding the right signal to get into. And let me open my trend lines. You can see now we're just kind of stalling out. You can definitely grind out and get some points here, but let me turn on my lines. Okay, so these are the lines that I've found in the back, and I keep them on there. Sometimes I overload it with too many lines. You can see this one came up here, and now it's just kind of sitting here. Market's going to continue up. My guess is it's going to push up to this line here in this area here. Now, again, it's not on this chart, but it's on this chart, so somewhere back in time it was hitting there. So again, some people like all the lines, some people don't. Find your own trading style that works best for you. But the point I'm trying to show you is, follow the system with making sure everything's green. This is about close to giving us a buy signal, but you can see the red is still there. So it did give us there, but it's red. So you got to make sure your confirmation right here is everything needs to be green, okay? Because it will give this signal here. That little yellow line is good to keep as a stop loss, possibility. But when the market's been flat like this, you're not going to play that stop loss because it's just too small. You'd probably come down here in this area. But again, maybe that's too much. The market's not trending up. The market's not moving. If we can get a nice green candle here, close above right here, look up there to make your points there. And that would probably be close enough to get you, if you were right in this area here, to there's 45. So yeah, you could definitely make some good money there for finding that. So anyway, guys, hopefully it helped you out. You can understand everything's got to be green with this. Market moves up, look for a retrace, and then hopefully push up to the next line. So anyway, guys, hopefully that helped you out, kind of see where I'm at. Smaller trading day, but still profitable. So be patient, be waiting. Here we go. It's moving up. You can see that. It's going to push up. Now, again, we're barely getting our green here. We're not going to close. It could have been aggressive here and said, oh, it's turning green. I'm going to get in and go. Perfect timing would have done that. And I've done that. I've played that aggressive move right there. Everything's turning. It's feeling, you can feel that pressure moving up, and it's just coming up, and look, it's stopping right there. Now, it may not stop there for good, because look at over here, we've got a good 2-minute one that it can push up to somewhere in that area. So plenty of room up. But again, you just saw a perfect example of this turning green and the pressure pushing up, okay? Now, it did give us that signal there, but again, nothing was all green here. So anyway, you guys perfectly watch that. I like to call them a pressure move. We can feel the pressure moving up or down of where that's going to go. And you've got to be quick, because you saw how quick that moved up. And if you miss out, you could be filled up here instead of down here, and then you're already negative. So anyway, hopefully this helped you guys out, give you a good idea of what you're looking for, how important these lines are, how quickly they can stop there and turn around just off of basic, support and resistance. Who knows how far back you could come to find those lines as we go back further and further. So anyway, hopefully that helps you guys out, gives you a good explanation of kind of the basics there of what to look for, when to avoid trades, even though it's a good trending market, hold off. And when you see some grinding moves like that, you can kind of get that pre-pressure move and push up there. So appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks.